Hey guys, in this video, we are going to mainly set up our character inside Unreal Engine. And before we do that, I want to show you exactly what we are going to be ending up with. So you see this environment right here. We are going to be later on download this environment for free in the Unreal Engine Marketplace. And if I press play here, so you're going to see that there's my character right here. We're gonna put our character inside Unreal Engine and we are gonna make him walk, right? We're gonna make him run, right? Gonna make him run. And yeah, we're going to be putting him inside an environment and we're gonna be able to play him and navigate him around the scene. So it's gonna be pretty cool, you guys, right? We're gonna end up with something like this. And if I show you guys here, let me just stop it. So the type of environment that we're going to have there is going to be a downtown west environment that we're going to be downloading for free in Unreal Engine, as I mentioned before. And let me show you the setup here for our character. We're going to be putting in our mesh here, and we're going to be downloading some animations. You could see that I have some animations such as falling, jumping, walking, and running that we're going to put inside here. And we're going to be creating some blueprint and some blend space for our character to move around the scene. And we're going to have our textures here, the textures that we have made in Substance Painter. We're going to drop them in here in Unreal Engine so that we're going to be able to apply it onto our character. We're going to be doing all that, all right, in the beginning in this video and the upcoming videos, all right? Now it's time for us to get our character ready for animation. Now, the website that we're going to be using is mixamo.com to grab all of our animations, our walking, our running, our jumping, all of that. We're going to get it from here, and it's for free, all right? All you got to do is sign up for free. I use my Google account, my Gmail account for this, so I already signed up. I'm going to go and log in, continue with Google, all right? And logging in, and wait for it to load. Loading Mixamo, and there you go. And what's cool about this is you could have access to all these animations that you could have for free that you could assign onto your character, the 3D model that you have done. Right? Look at that, dancing, doing the X-bot, pretty cool, right? Now, of course, you're going to need a geometry for this. You could basically go to your Blender file if you have not done so already. You should have done it already because remember we have exported out an FBX file to put inside Substance Painter. So that same mesh that you have used for Substance Painter, you could also just use that for Mixamo. But if you don't want to, maybe you made some changes to the geometry, you could go to your most updated file and just make sure that you hide all of the lights and cameras. So you could go put all your lights and cameras in one collection and then you could just hide it easily. So I put them all here and I could just hide it, right? And also the groom hair, see all this hair that you have done, make sure you also hide it. You don't want to export that out and put it in Mixamo. Okay, so, and then you have to go and, before you export all of these out, before you go here and before you go to export FBX, what you have to do is you need to make sure that you go to each of these geometry and check your material, right? So I have the outfit material here, and you could see that for that material, there are textures, right, that are assigned to the shader, right? And the thing is, if you have all these materials connected to the shader, to the material here, guess what? It's not going to work in Mixamo. So you have to go to each of these, right? Where you don't forget to go to the eyeball also. If you have texture for that, you need to basically get rid of all these connections, okay? So all the normal map, all the base color map, all of that, you gotta remove it. And also the caruncle, everything, the tear duct, if you have added any texture on there, the outfit, the arms, all of these, you have to remove it, okay? And you have to, after you do that, that's when you could export this out as an FBX. You go to File, Export, FBX, and just make sure that you have selected objects only. All right, very important. You don't want to export anything else but the geometry. No lights, no cameras, otherwise it will not work in Mixamo, and no texture maps either. That's why I was telling you guys that it's best to just use the Substance Painter, but I know that you guys, if you have modified the geometry and then this is your latest file, then I suggest that you just file, save as, and save this as a different file. Maybe call it exporting file or whatever, and then get rid of all the textures that you have for this, and then export this in an FBX. For some reason, just Mixamo doesn't allow, it wouldn't work. If you have all these textures here, Mixamo will not work for you. You're not going to be able to download animations. You're going to see a message saying, sorry, but this and that, you cannot be rigged, okay? So yeah, after you have your FBX file, all right, basically the FBX file that I'm going to use is going to be the MB_mesh, which is the one that I've used for my Substance Painter. Once you have that, just go to Mixamo.com. You should have already logged in, and then you're going to see upload character, right? So just go ahead and click on that, upload character, and select character file, and go ahead and upload it. Make sure it's an FBX file, because if it's not an OBJ file, it's not going to, if you export this as an OBJ file instead of an FBX, guess what? All these materials that are linked to the outfit, all these materials that are linked to the head, it's not going to show up in Unreal Engine. Okay, so just make sure that you have it as an FBX. Okay, so the materials will be linked up to Unreal Engine, and then we're going to be able to plug in our texture inside Unreal Engine. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and upload the character mesh, MB mesh for me right there, and just wait for a bit as it loads up. I'm just gonna pause this video and get back to you guys. Okay, so once it's done, it's uploaded and it's been processed, just click on next here, because you're gonna need to orient it. So have your character in T-pose and fingers spread apart. Ours is A-pose, which is just no problem. And then we have to use the arrow buttons to rotate your character and have its front face forward. Click next. Okay, so now we have to place markers on our model, and to do that, we just have to link the chin circle to the chin, and then the wrist also to the wrist area. It tells you exactly where you need to put them, elbows, where the elbows at, knees, and groin. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. For the chin, let's go and click and drag it and put it on the chin area. You could see there's a bigger photo for you there to look at. And then the wrist is very important. You could see that the wrist here, it's telling you where to go. The wrist is a little bit lower than the actual where the joint of the wrist is. So for the wrist, you have to click and drag it. So instead of putting right at the top here on the bone, or right on the middle of the bone there, you have to put it slightly lower. Okay, so otherwise it's gonna look like your character's hand is gonna fall off if you don't put it in the right place. Okay, so right there, just slightly below, maybe even lower. If you don't get it to rig properly the first time, you could always do it again, upload it again, and re-rig it. And then the elbow, I'm gonna go ahead and put it right here, of course. All right, and I think this needs to be slightly lower. There you go. And the knees right here. And then groin, which is right here, the private part right there. Okay, and after that, just click on next and just wait for a bit. All right, guys, so that took about 3 minutes just to load this up. Okay. Yeah, I think the wrist is looking fine, I think. Not bad. Like I said before, sometimes the wrist is an issue, so you could always re-upload it if you need to. But I think this is fine. Okay, and I'm gonna go and click next. Okay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to find some animations. First, wait, before we find animation, we have to find a T-pose. Type in T-pose right here on the search, okay? So search right here, look for a T-pose. So maybe this right here. Let's look at that. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down. Yeah, I think that's the only T-pose that's available. Okay, so we have to find a T-pose right there, and once you go and find that, which is only one, let's go ahead and I think instead of having a T-pose, maybe we could do, let me see. Ooh, boy, nope. Let's look at the overdrive. Nah, I'm gonna go and set it to 50. Character arm space. Ooh, we could actually make it into an A pose. Maybe we could do that. Let me see. Yeah, I think A pose is fine. You're not gonna get this 100% perfect. You see there's a little bit of issue there, but when I showed you the game, it's not even noticeable once it's starting to animate, so I wouldn't even worry too much about that. But of course you could always put this inside Blender, and you could always just do your own rig and your own animations, right? And you could just put it all inside Unreal Engine later. Once, if you know how to animate, you know how to rig, you could do it all yourself. Okay, but of course we're gonna do it fast, and we want it like this. And you could see the result that I have, and Unreal is pretty good. But let's go ahead and download it, the T-pose. And this is gonna be FBX, of course, and we need it with the skin, and frames 30 frames per second. Keyframe reduction is none, and let's click on download. And I'm gonna put it in my Mixamo folder here, and I'm gonna click save, and there you go. And the next up is we're going to find an idle animation. So this is when the character is just kind of standing chill. All right, so maybe, let's see here, I want him to look like he has swag. So maybe, look at this one. This looks like a zombie right there. If I click on that, oh boy, look like he's just like drunk. Like he just got from the club and just like, or he's just smoked weed and he's just high or something. But yeah, no. So maybe, oh no, he looked like a little child begging for money. Let's see here. Little idol, maybe this. Okay, I think I like this one here. So I'm gonna go ahead and download that. You could also rotate your character, or you could do this. Just left click and drag your mouse. And yeah, let's go and download this one. You could also play around with the arm space. So if you think the arm is like too close to the body, you could go ahead and change that up. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and click on download. And this time, we have FBX, 30 frames per second, keyframe reduction at none. The difference is going to be without the skin. We don't want the file to be too big, so make sure it's without the skin. The skin is basically the geometry, the mesh that we have here, all right? And we already have that for the T-pose that we have downloaded. We already have the skin for that. So for the animations that we're going to have, which is idle, walk, run, and jump, we don't need the skin anymore, okay? So make sure it's without skin and hit download. And of course, I'm going to put it in the same folder, Mixamo, new folder that I have, and I'm going to click save. Cool. And the next animation, we could go ahead and find a walk animation. And look at that. Look at him looking like a model. Now, with the walking, we need to make sure that your character is walking in place. So let's go ahead and click on in place. We need to have it walking in place because what we're going to do is to make him walk forward, we're going to have our keyboard, the up arrow, drive our character to walk forward. And that's going to be happening inside the game engine, where we're going to add some blueprint, which is basically the way to code the character to move forward when we press our keyboard here. Okay, so we need to just set it in place. You see all these things that we're downloading, guys, you could do all that inside Blender. If you're a rigger, an animator, and you want to just do your own animation, you could do all that, all right? So, but anyways, I want to have him walk maybe a little bit manlier, right? Let's see. Maybe this one. And set it in place. And I think he's walking too fast. Way too fast for me. And maybe the arm space. Nope. So if he's walking too fast, you could change the overdrive. I think that slows it down. Yep. If you bring down the value of the overdrive, you could slow him down. Yeah, I think I want to find something else. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Start walking. A lot of these walking here. Let's see. I'm gonna pause this video as I search, and then I'll get back to you guys so I could show you what I found. Alright guys, so I found a walk that I think will really match him, which is a swagger walk. So who wouldn't want to see our guy walk like he got swag? But anyways, you could choose whatever you want, but I think this matches him. Swagger walk. Okay, and make sure, as I mentioned before, set it in place, and you guys can mess around with the values here to get what you want. And then click on download, and make sure it's without skin, and download. And let's go ahead and just name this walk. And hit save. And next up is going to be run. So let's go ahead and find run. Okay, so the run that I found is this right here. So feel free to find your own. And once again, very important to set it in place. And just go ahead and download that without the skin. Download. And just gonna go ahead and name it run. Okay, and last but not least is gonna be the jump. So if I type in jump there, okay, the thing is we cannot really have the jump. We can't have it all happening at once. We have to split this into 3 because we have to split it to jump up, jump down, and then jump up, and then falling idle, which is going to be him up in the air, and then jumping down. And the reason why we need to do that is because if you put this jumping, all these animation right here all at once, it's going to have issues where it's going to keep on looping in Unreal Engine when we have our blueprint, okay? And plus there's going to be like a little bit of delay, which is not good. So we need to go and find a jump up. So we're going to be doing a little split here. Okay, so this right here is jump up. Okay, and then we're also going to have to find where he is up in the air, which is going to be called falling idle. So let's see. So this one right here, we're going to need this here, falling idle. And actually we could do this. We could use, let's see here. Yeah, so we could use the falling idle here, and then we could also use the down, jumping down, and we need the jump up. So we need all 3. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and find the jump down that I want, jump up that I want, which is gonna be this. It's up to you what you want. Yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna go for. So I'm gonna go ahead and download that without skin. And that's gonna be jump up. You could keep the name as is if you want, but just for the sake of shortening it, I'm gonna put jump up. And then I'm gonna go ahead and find jump down. I'm gonna look for the falling idle first, which is gonna be this. He's in the air, just like that. It's in the air. And then let's go and download that. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and save that. And last but not least is the jumping down, which is, I think this one would be worked. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and download that one. And there it is. Jump down, hit save. All right. Okay, cool. And in the next video, we are going to be setting all these up in Unreal Engine, and we're going to be having our blueprint. We're going to create our blueprint and our blend space, and we're going to set it up so our character could move.